G'day and welcome to A Down Under Yarn. I am your host Fiona, also known as Fifykins. I am Fifykins on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, Pinterest, Flickr, Facebook, everywhere basically. So please feel free to look me up and friend me. This is episode 12 of A Down Under Yarn. Welcome to new viewers. Welcome to returning viewers. Welcome to people who pop in from time to time. It's great to have you here today. This is actually my third recording of this episode. The first one, the audio and visual there's about a 5-second lag and it annoyed me, so I said no. The second one I recorded and didn't check the microphone level after I restarted my computer, and it was too soft. So hopefully this is the Goldilocks episode, which is just right. It is Sunday, the 17th of March, which is St. Patrick's Day. It is 11:15 p.m. So this is not going to be an uber long episode, I hope. I have some thank yous. Firstly, I'd like to thank people who've left an iTunes review. I was pleasantly surprised during the week to have a look and see that some people left some. So thank you. I understand if you go to podcasts on iTunes, you can leave reviews there for your podcasts, and it helps us be found by other people. I know when I started looking for knitting podcasts, a whole lot of them came up based on people's reviews. So it's a nice thing to be able to do. Thank you also. I was randomly gifted a pattern as part of Random Active Pattern Tuesday. I was gifted the Turtle pattern, which is really gorgeous. Part proceeds were going to the Histiocytosis Association of America for research into histiocytosis. As part of, I think, Lemnic Crochet has been doing a fundraiser around Rare Disease Day. So it's a gorgeous pattern, and I'm going to knit it for Jasper because he is always saying awkward turtle, which comes with, I think, that sort of motion, which he kind of finds funny. So I will knit him a not so awkward turtle, so he can find that funny. Thank you also to Melissa of Meltran Designs. She is just lovely and gifted me the Wisdom Knits, which I really am looking forward to knitting as well. Finally, I was very, very pleasantly surprised watching Knit Spin Farm with Joanna during the week, where she gave me a lovely review and sent people over. So if you've come from Joanna, hey, welcome. It is evening, as I said. It's not too bad out here tonight. It's quite pleasant, really. We've had a couple of really warm days, but it means it's getting a little bit chillier in the evenings because there's no cloud cover to keep the heat in. We have had a couple of cyclones during the week that have gone out to sea, out the other way, haven't even affected us. One, the ex-tropical cyclone Tim, is coming back in towards Townsville, which is, 350 k's south of us. We might get some rain from it, but I'm not certain about that. A bit more rain would be nice, but hey, it is what it is. Shout out as well to the gorgeous Tess, who is one of my oldest internet friends and real life friends as well. She's been in hospital for a few days. They're trying to work out what the matter is, so hopefully, she said she thinks Monday to Friday they're working out what the matter is days, and tomorrow morning I hope they can work out what the problem is and work out if they have to slice and dice or medicate or whatever they've got to do. So, hello gorgeous, I'm thinking of you, and hey, I'll try not to make you laugh too much if you are in pain in hospital, but I can't promise anything. The week that was. Monday started off, I took Jasper to the doctor. He's been feeling a bit down, and more down than what I thought was normal. And the doctor agreed with me and said, yeah, he is a bit down. The doctor recommended exercise. Jasper's never been a sporty kid. He played a bit of AFL when he was really young, then tried rugby for a bit, and never got into team sports. He doesn't mind swimming, but doesn't like the idea of going swimming every night. So we decided we'd do walking because, hey, it's something we can do. And the plan was to go walking every day for about half an hour. And hopefully that would help regulate his moods. That same day on Monday, a very good friend of mine put up on Facebook that she has her fourth baby. She and her husband are expecting their fourth baby in, I think, 7 weeks, and she said, I don't know how I'm going to cope with our 17-month-old black Labrador and baby. Is there anyone out there who might be able to take him from us? So I talked about it with Mimel on Monday evening, and we decided that we would take Ninja for a 3-month trial. Now, I can say we collected her on Wednesday. I can say that I can't see us handing her back. She is pretty nice. Hey Ninja, I'm talking about you. Ninja! Ninja! Hey! I've just woken her up. I know, you gotta do another cameo. Here she is. I'm about to tip you down. Oh, see? Ninja! Oh, okay, no, not lying down. Come on, up, up, up. People want to see you. Yes, here you are. See, the people want to see you. Yes. Okay. So, the cats really have had their noses put out of joint. I did some reading before she arrived, and the cats are meant to be inside cats, and I kept her in a harness and a lead. Oh, she's gone and sleeping on her bed now. Kept her in a harness and lead, took her inside. I've never seen their backs arch so much. Leo, who's usually very, very quiet, was hissing. Both of them were meowing, and they just ran away, so I brought her straight outside. Tried to placate the cats. One of the cats left a nice message on my bed. A steaming hot turd, which was very nice. A message received, thank you very much. So I've been trying to give them lots of attention too. I'm keeping the wire door closed during the day, but the wooden door open when we're here, and that means that they can see each other through the wire. It's security mesh, so they can't actually put paws through or anything. And Leo's been a lot more inquisitive and sort of sniffing around. Max will still hiss a bit if he sees that Ninja's sitting there. Ninja just wags her tail, and sometimes there's a little growl or a little bark, and which scares both of them away. And it will take time, but I'm hoping that they will become really good friends at some stage. Apart from that, I've been cleaning. Since I've been off work, I've actually not been cleaning. I probably clean more when I was working. And I think part of it is probably mental health state. You know, when you get down yourself, and I just put it all off. Plus I felt I just had time and I could just knit and just spend all day knitting or on BKNs or watching podcasts. And now I've had to try and put some more structure into my days so that I do spend time cleaning, preparing meals, well, not preparing meals of course, but putting planning into things so that I'm not thinking at 5:30 at night, what are we having for dinner? Nothing's out of the freezer, let's run off to the supermarket. So that's all been quite interesting this week. I put in for a job which I was quite positive about, had a good feeling about, because it was a receptionist position at the place. I knew one of the former partners, and he still gets on very well with the other partner. And when I spoke to him before I put the application in and said, you know what they're looking for? And he goes, oh no, but I'll have a good word for you. And obviously even his good word didn't help. They didn't even get an interview. So I did what I shouldn't have done and got my emergency credit card and went yarn shopping for projects that I knew what I was getting yarn for. It's not like I don't have enough yarn at the moment, and it really was a silly thing to do, considering my finances are pretty shot at the moment. But hey, it is what it is. I think by admitting it, hopefully I will not do it again. And I'm also planning a bit of a de-stash this week, so I will work out what I'm going to put up for de-stash and put a link up on the Australian knitting group. It's usually they've got a de-stash place in there. So there you go. The knit along is going swimmingly. I am really thrilled at how well it is going. I've had people tell me about secret projects they can't put up yet. There's a couple of projects up in the thread which are just beautiful. I've had people telling me that they weren't sure who to knit for, and we've had conversations back and forth, and they've come up with something. Someone's knitting something for their mum. She said, even though mum's never had any infertility issues, her grandma died. This person's grandma died, and it meant that they, and she said her mum now finds Mother's Day really hard. Sorry about that, Imogen just interrupted me. Anyway, so I'm the knit along. Now, oh yeah, sorry, Kiki from Yarn vs Zombies got in touch with me this week. She is dyeing up some yarn especially for the knit along. for a prize. I know we don't do knit-alongs for prizes, we do knit-alongs for the joy of doing them, but prizes are always nice. So come along, join in. And yeah, that's open until the end of April. I probably won't be closing it until I record on the first Sunday in May. And yeah, it's to end then so that people can hand their hugs over before Mother's Day. And a hug can be anything you want it to be. It can be a shawl, it can be a wrap, it can be a cowl, it can be a scarf, anything that someone can wrap around themselves and know that they're being hugged, even though they may be finding the day difficult. Finished objects. I wasn't going to show this again, however, I got buttons. Now, this is my Ho Aloha, and as you know, Imogen's off to Japan in less than 3 weeks, which is a wee bit scary, but she's going to have an absolute ball. For her birthday, I got her a canvas satchel that straps over, goes diagonally across her, and with the satchel, she wanted to pin little pin-back buttons onto it. So I was looking on Etsy to see what buttons they had. And somehow it came up with a previous search, which was buttons. And I had favoured these buttons, and I don't know why I didn't get them at the time. Possibly because there were 5 and I only needed 4. I don't know. But I got them. I sewed them on. I blocked my cardigan. You can see there, it's probably, the lighting's not the best because it is evening. Oh, there we go. They really are beautiful. I took some photos this afternoon with my Ho Aloha, and I love the way it fits. Perhaps a wee bit snug around the belly. I am wearing some jeans that I haven't been wearing for a very long time, so they, I suppose, instead of my very fat jeans, they're my fat jeans. And I do have a bit of a muffin top over the top, which showed up in one of the photos, which was quite funny. I assured everyone it's just fat, it's not a baby or anything frightening like that. Yeah, so this is knit out of Malabrigo Rios in the Azul Profundo colourway. I just can't wait for it to get cool enough to wear it. As I said, I blocked it last night. It ran a lot, really ran a lot, but the colour seems fine. I did alternate skeins throughout except on the sleeves, and even there it's very difficult to tell, so I probably would still alternate colours in the future, perhaps not as anally as I did it this time, I don't know. Anyway, so that is that. Excuse me, I've got piles everywhere. I said in, I think, version 2, after recording version 1 where I have everything laid out properly to the side of me, I put things down and I was grabbing them. It got even worse last time. So anyway, I have a hoe. I have the first of my Mabel socks. This is for my mother for her birthday, which was in February. Now I've put it on my ghetto blockers just so I can show you the beautiful cable pattern that goes up and down each leg and the instep. Gorgeous pattern, really, really, really love it. Last week I think I had finished a few rows of the top there. One day in the VKN I got down to the heel flap, and I thought I'll leave it there and I'll do some work on my other project. And the following morning I thought, oh, it's just a heel flap, I'll do the heel flap. Then I thought, I'll just turn it. And by the time I turned it, picked up the gusset stitches and done the gusset decreases, I figured I was halfway down the foot, I might as well finish it. So I've been working mainly on this week. I did finish this last night. Really thrilled with my Kitchener. It's probably my best Kitchener yet, in that I can't even tell where it's been, which is pretty much a first for me, because sometimes my Kitcheners get twisted. Sometimes. I cast on the second sock. You can see there, I think I've done a couple of rows of ribbing. I've actually not done any knitting today. I have been that busy with cleaning and... Oh no, I have. I tell a lie. Sorry, I did some... No, I haven't. A day without knitting is a day lost. I'm sorry. Anyway, and I've been trying to podcast as well. I am knitting this out of Soft Like Kittens yarn. Now, this is the... I didn't tell you about the buttons in the end where I got them from, did I? So I've got the card here. There we are. It's Lulu Creations, Lulu Clay Creations, and I'll put a link to that up in the show notes. Sorry, these Mabel socks. Back to these is out of Soft Like Kittens, the staple sock base. Now, Annette or Annettle, who has the Gentle Ribbing podcast, dyes the Soft Like Kittens yarn, and she is not using this base anymore. All I can say is the other bases that she's got to replace this must be absolutely amazing, because this is pretty good itself. Probably doesn't have the tightest twist, that would be my only thing, but I understand the new bases do, so I really can't comment on this because it's been discontinued. This is the Weathered Denim colourway, and I really, really love it. Perhaps it's a bit masculine, that would be my only thing for my mum, but I think these are socks that will go with anything, and yeah, she's not a girly, frilly type person anyway, really. So I think it's really appropriate, but if you were looking for a colour for a guy that's not black, this would be a fantastic colour, the Weathered Denim. Mum's coming up after Easter, just before Emmy goes away, so I'm going to give them to her then, but I would like to get the second sock knocked out ASAP so I can get on to other things. My second work in progress, did I say that I was keeping my needles in? I don't think I did, in my needle nook. I don't think I even said these are my Knit Pro needles. Yeah, I need to have my nails done, I'm sorry. These are my Knit Pro needles, the wooden needles. Really enjoy them. I know that if I sit on them they're going to break, but apart from that I love them, and I keep them in my needle nook for a little bit of protection, so they don't poke through bags and things. My second project hasn't received a lot of love. This is my Daybreak, which is a knit along that I have been doing with some other folk, an informal knit along on Ravelry. I am using Cascade Heritage Silk in the charcoal grey and the Wisdom Yarns Poem Sock in sort of a rainbow colour. I think I've got a couple more stripes from last time. I think I've got a purple one and a pink one that I haven't actually added the grey to yet. And I can see yellow in my near future coming from there. There's a bit of yellow on the pink there. Really enjoying it, but I took it inside one evening when I'd been cleaning up. One of the things I've been doing is actually cleaning my bedroom, which has been long overdue for a clean. And in doing that, I think I was listening to podcasts and my iPad ran down. I don't know why I wasn't charging it, but anyway, I had to go in there in the evening, and I thought I'll knit in bed, and I don't usually knit in bed. And I put the knitting next to my bed and it stayed there, so it hasn't been out here for me to just pick up. It hasn't been on the computer desk, which is the other place I pick stuff up when I come out here to sit down. I'm using my Addy long lace needles. These are US for 3.5 millimeters. Not the best needles for this because you do have to push stitches up, and they don't really take well to pushing stitches up. I use this for my I used these for my Ho Aloha and had no problems whatsoever. So I haven't had any problems when I've knit things on bigger needles. I suspect I'm knitting this tighter than otherwise or something, I don't know. But it is great. This would be amazing travel knitting because once you've got it down, it just goes. It's just knitting. So if you're looking for a travel project, I would recommend a Daybreak. Even though it is two colours and you'd need to have the two colours with you, it is something that you can just whip out. As Megan from the Stockinette Zombies did, and Kiki from Yarn vs Zombies, they whipped theirs out in about a week. So I'm still going on mine. I'm not really a monogamous knitter. I have more than one thing on the needles at a time, but I like to see progress on what I'm knitting on. I've done 2 stripes in that this week, and I don't see that as being a lot of progress. So there you go. My other thing that I picked up in a weekend, because it was sitting out here in its bag, is my Anarabi shawl. Now, I showed this very early on in the podcast, but I haven't given it any love for a while. I am onto the 4th colour, which is sort of a reddy orange. This is in the Big Yarn Designs 8-ply yarn. No, 4-ply yarn. 4-ply. And it's Superwash Merino. It's an Australian company. Really love it. And I really like the motifs. They're easy to get done. So I should just put it to myself that whenever I'm in a VKN, I just make sure I do at least one. So that's something I would like to do, because I really want to get this finished sooner rather than later. So that was my 3rd work in progress that I touched this week. My acquisition. I think I told you last week This arrived in extra special super time. I think it was in 11 days, which is unheard of. From the States, my Highland Handmaid's striped maple sock yarn arrived. Look at those colours. This is the villainous colours, and it's inspired by the Princess Bride, which I really enjoy. And the sequence is 5 yards of Are You Still Trying to Win, which is the gold. 5 yards I Knew He Was Bluffing, which is the red. 5 yards of Someone Was Looking for You, which is the charcoal. And 5 yards of I Always Think Everything's a Trap, which is the purple. And it's gorgeous. It's a thicker sock yarn. It's almost a sport weight, so I'm probably going to use this to knit up some mitts, just because I think it would be just awesome as mitts, villainous mitts. Yeah, so yeah, I'm getting a bit, it's a villainous yarn, it's really lovely. This week we have a Japanese exchange student coming to stay with us for 10 days. She arrives tomorrow. It's another one of the reasons we've been cleaning and tidying. I don't want her to think that all Australian houses are somewhat, not really squalor, but actually it's probably getting close to that. No, it's not. Just a bit messy. So she's coming this week. Next weekend we are celebrating Jasper's birthday with a birthday party. Yes, all over the place, sorry. At the Coconuts Resort. Ken's Coconut Resort started off as a caravan park and camping ground, and they've since put villas in there, but you don't go for the rooms, you go for the actual resort. It has a water park, it has 2 gorgeous pools, it has tennis courts, it has trampoline mats, inflatable trampoline mats that kids can run and jump and play on. It's got things you hire, not bikes, they've got bikes, but also buggy things that you hire and wheel around on. So for Jasper's birthday, it's his birthday present from my mum and brother, and he's getting 2 friends to come along, so we're getting a nice big cabin that's going to have room for him and his 2 mates, Imogen, and our exchange student, and myself. And we're going to have fun there for 2 nights, so Friday night, Saturday night. I'm looking forward to Saturday, just relaxing by the pool, knitting, going in for a bit of a swim, getting out, just relaxing. And then Mimmel will be on nights this week. I don't like it when he's on nights, I worry. Even though we don't live together as such, and during the week don't usually spend nights together, overnight, we spend the evenings together, I worry that his job is a risky one at times. He deals with some very sick people, and sometimes, especially at night, when these very sick people come in, they're influenced by drugs and alcohol, and things can get out of hand quickly. I know the security staff are brilliant, and they're always there to back up the medical staff, but he has had a couple of incidences. I think last time he was on nights, there was an incident that wasn't actually in any of the wards or any of the units that you'd expect. Someone went off and they didn't have the required drugs there, so someone else had to go running for them. So he's trying to talk this person down with the security guards there. They're trying to work out, what they're going to do. He's been assaulted at other times by patients, but the patients aren't well. So, yeah. And hey, he has to be there to help them, which I understand. So, the thing with the nights though, it's 7 nights in a row from 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it's long, it's a really long week, and at least it's not a full moon this week. That's one thing to be thankful for, but it's usually very busy. We're hoping to catch up for breakfast a couple of mornings this week, which will be quite nice. Apart from that, yeah, I'm going to try and practice some good sleep hygiene, go to bed a bit earlier. This is quite late for me to be up. Well, it's not late for me to be up, but it's later than I should be up. So I'm going to put on my meditation apps that I've got on my phone and iPad and play them and try and get myself ready to sleep. That little kick noise, that was a gecko. There's some bugs up there around the light, and there's a gecko that's trying to catch them. So, yeah. Our other big news. Okay. Mimmel is from South Africa. His family is still there. His parents, his sister and her partner and their 2-year-old daughter. His grandparents are still alive. They're in their 90s. They're still living in their own home. His aunties and uncles are all still there. He does have one cousin who's in Australia, but every time we've been down to Brisbane, it's been an inconvenient time. She's either been away or been busy, so we haven't been able to catch up with her. But we speak to his parents regularly on the phone, or we Skype them. But they're also getting old. They're both retired now. So we looked at it, and Memel still has most of his possessions from, I suppose, growing up in medical school and everything over in South Africa. Even though he's been in Australia now for 7 years, it's all still there. And he said it's about time that he brings stuff over, works out what he wants, what he doesn't want, and ships it over. So he's been looking at going over. He's got time off in June. And he said, hey, you've got enough frequent flyer points. Do you want to come? And I sort of said, that would be really nice. I haven't actually been on a plane or been out of Cairns for almost 2 years. So yeah, it'd be nice to get away. Imogen will be in Japan, and then there's Jasper. So I rang my mum and brother and said, hey, this has come up. Do you think it's possible to look after Jasper for the 2 weeks we're away? And Mum said, go for it. I'm sure there's something that can be arranged, which is just fantastic. So when we got online to see what was available, see if there were any flights available, because it can be difficult at times with frequent flyer points. And every leg had seats. Every leg had 2 seats, and I had almost exactly the right number of points for both of us. And I said to him, I'd be happy to use my points for you to go over with me, for both of us to go together, because it's, apart from saving a lot of money, you know, things are all together then. And I said I won't feel so guilty because he's been so supportive of me now that I'm unemployed at the moment. So that's all been booked this evening. We are flying out of Cairns on the 1st of June. We overnighted in Sydney before we fly out the following morning to Johannesburg. We're hiring a car. The economy over there is just, the dollar to rand is really in our favour, so hiring a car is almost peanuts. It's quite sad, really, knowing what it would cost to hire a car in Australia for 14 days compared to what it's going to cost in South Africa. It's, I wouldn't say a tenth of the price, but it's pretty cheap. And then we get to stay with his family. So we stay with his parents for 2 weeks. They've already asked us not to be so messy, which is quite funny, as we rang them tonight to tell them that things were booked. And yeah, get to meet his niece, which we haven't met yet. And I did her a Milo almost 12 months ago that never seemed to get posted, so I'll probably be delivering it. Luckily I did knit a size up. I've got the Dierste shawl that I knitted for his mother, which still hasn't been posted, so I think we're going to leave it now and take it over in hand luggage, so at least we know that it will get there. I want to knit his mum, we're going to be there for her birthday as well, which is very nice, a Hogwarts Express shawl, because she loves owls, so I will try and knit that before we go. For myself, it's going to be winter. It's going to be the first 2 weeks of winter. I'm pretty excited to be experiencing some cooler weather. Of course, I have my Ho Aloha. One of the yarns I ordered was from Bendigo Woolen Mills, some rustic yarn to knit a the lighthouse keeper's wife jumper, which is knit with bulky weight but at a very loose gauge. They say it's a summer sweater, so I think for up here it will probably be good in the evenings as well. So that shouldn't take too long to knit up. I've got these other things I want to finish. I mean, if I've got time, I'll knit some other things as well. It'd be nice to knit something for his sister and for his grandparents. So I'm thrilled. And then I've got to work out what travel knitting I'm going to need. It's 2.5 hours down to Sydney on the plane, and then from Sydney to Joburg I think is 14 hours one way, 12 hours the other way, but coming back it's basically overnight. So I don't know how much knitting will get done. You can hear Minja's eating bones. She just adores the bones. I went to the butcher and got a huge bag of bones, threw them in the freezer. She just loves them. then they had a special at the pet shop with lamb necks, and it was like dehydrated meat on the things. Didn't smell or anything. Gave them to her. She's just pulled them apart and loved it. So, yep. Yeah, so that's our big news for June. I don't know then if I'm going to get across to Japan to see Amy while she's there, which is difficult. I know I'm going to miss her so much while she's gone, and yes, we'll be able to Skype. I know that. So, yeah. Hopefully my mum will be able to go across while she's there. I think that's about it. It is almost tomorrow, so, and I'm just here. I think that's about all. Until next week then, I will say, Uru, fingers crossed this one has worked, and good night. Uru, cheers.